There's no drama. Like Bobby Lee is one of my close friends. Me and Bobby talk all. No one's been more supportive when I started than Bobby Lee, dude. Me and her are good, man. Dude, when you talk about the secret sauce, Kalila is the secret sauce of Tiger Belly, of the Trash Tuesday. She's such a...
It's fake as hell. Yeah, it is fake as hell, bro. This is fake as hell. Say how you really feel, because she was being disgusting back then too. Well, she actually was what started the whole thing, right? So yeah, I don't care what she's the secret sauce of, right? Nah, don't use me and my friendships in order to get clout and clicks on your damn podcast, bro. Right? That's nasty. That's mad nasty. And be like, well, we didn't do nothing wrong. Like, is that where Bobby get it from?
Smart girl, no issues. As far as suing goes, I think it's a miscommunication.
I think it's clear. I'm not a fan of her. Right? I'm not a fan.
Clip that they put out, it looked like they were very angry.
Yeah.
Again, and I told her, always come to me.
And just with him complimenting Kalila shows how full of shit he is. And in the beginning there, he could barely even finish his sentence.
Can't argue with
he's
that.
Catching himself because he knows how full of shit he is.
I can't argue with that,
he's like,
bro.
me and Bobby are best, or me and Bobby talk all the time, or, there's nothing there. People are trying to act like there's something. And he's always pretending like people are just making stuff up out of nowhere. But nobody needs to, because this shit just writes itself. Like even with Mark Harley, Brendan's former baddie wrangler / handler, when he came out and tried to expose Brendan earlier this year, I was like, maybe some of the stuff he's making up, it just seems like it's too much even for Brendan. Like him peeing in the sink at work. At first I'm like, this can't be true. But then it turns out to be true.
Sound like
proven wrong. And I think pretty much everything.
No, that sound like Brendan. That's not from what I've heard. That sound like Brendan Schaub.
Everything Mark has said about Brendan turns out to be true. Like also, he's the first person to talk about the whole podcast one alleged scam. Like months before everybody's talking about it, he said that Brendan was owed $1.6 million. And originally he thought it was from his agent. But then when somebody mentioned the podcast one thing, he's like, oh yeah, that's definitely it. So there's no need to make anything up about Brendan. I mean, the guy just attracts drama and controversy. He cannot stay out of it. Even though when he talks about it, he always talks about how much he tries to avoid it and how he doesn't want to be involved in it. But for some reason, he always finds himself in it. And it's because everything he tries to avoid it just ends up backfiring and making things 100 times worse. And I don't think Brendan will ever realize that.
There's really
like with him suing.
This is past catching up. That's really what it is, bro. It's past catching up. There's certain things he did that was like crappy moves early on, right, in his career, I guess, especially once he had that Joe Rogan co-sign, he thought he was untouchable. And now it's just, it's coming back and people are going to get you. The same ones that you dump on your way up are the same ones that's going to stump on you on your way down. That's just the way it is. And honestly, he's not even down. So it's not a big deal.
That smaller YouTuber, that was a terrible decision.
You're doing great.
Because it didn't do anything. The guy he sued is still making videos about him. And then what Brendan was trying to censor only made people more aware of it. Then everybody's making videos about it. Penguin's one of the biggest YouTubers made a video about it. So that made things so much worse. But of course, Brendan, he learns nothing from it. And then he threatened to sue Kalila and Trash Tuesday. And then they talked about it on their podcast, which just drew more attention to the whole Trug Walk thing. And then also, instead of Brendan just ignoring the fight in the kids subreddit, he hires a team to try to figure out who's running it and have it taken down. And that was probably the worst mistake of them all, because that's how he got Brendan and Brian Callen threatening Bobby Lee. And that's when everything just blew up in his face and he had to go on Tiger Belly to talk about it, which I'm sure was like the worst moment of his life. But I don't know if he'll ever learn from it. Like, he was obviously embarrassed and hated it and everything, but I don't think he ever accepts responsibility. Or
he should just move on from the damn situation. I'm telling you, if I was him, right or wrong, don't mess with Bobby Lee and his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend. Just stay away from that. Just stay away from that. Whenever mentioned, you don't got to do fake love. It's just whatever, man. I have nothing to do with them.
Realizes how he screwed up, or realized this kind of stuff isn't a good idea. I mean,
think the Reddit thing was a little too far.
Any rational person from the start could have told him this was not going to end well. I mean, Mark Harley recently said that the guy that Brendan hired, or the team that he hired, the team of hackers to take down the fight in the kids subreddit. Like, if you remember when Brendan would talk about this, he was acting like he was having law enforcement look into it, or the FBI was looking into it or something. He acted like he's having this legit team of people going after it. But according to Mark Harley, who again hasn't really made anything up so far, this team that Brendan has was Brian Callen's.
Let me see. Is he going to read this
opener.
out?
He says that they paid him $15,000 to try to take down the subreddit. And then he just came back to them and told them it was Bobby Lee behind it all. And they just believed him and they went after him right away. And then obviously that just turned into a disaster. But the fact that Brendan thought this was a good idea, I think
if that's true, that is insane. What are they doing? What the hell are they doing over there? Running around like just Looney Tunes.
it shows he's hopeless. Like, I don't know if he'll
give
ever
me
learn.
15,000 and come up with
this
something.
guy 15 grand to make things 1,000 times worse. Like, nothing
It's
happened to the Fight
crazy.
the Kid subreddit. And this just caused so much more shit for Brendan, and it destroyed his relationship with Bobby and Brian's relationship
It's
with
dumb as
Bobby.
hell.
But I don't know if Brendan even thinks about it like this. You know, he probably just thinks, oh, those trolls on Reddit did all this to me. But it's like, no, dude, you did this all to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, one of the most accurate.
You gotta take responsibility, bro. The trolls didn't tell you to go pay someone 15,000 to do nothing. Yeah, your best bet is to ignore. Trust me. Your best bet is just to ignore, do whatever you're doing, do what's your job, and just move on, bro. That is it. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Now, if you have some extra time, can you do me a favor? Check out my music. I rap, I sing, and I make beats. All of that should be linked in the description. Also, if you want to watch me live stream, you can check me out on bxbeastboy Live. That's another YouTube channel. It should be linked to my homepage. And you can check me out on Twitch and Rumble. I'm streaming on all these platforms, man. Trying to just get out there. Also, if you want to support me, you can sign up for my memberships on my channel, as well as my Patreon for as low as $1. You get exclusive access to a bunch of videos early before you even get it on YouTube, as well as videos that's not ever going to be on YouTube. Stuff that actually got me suspended and banned. It's kind of my anti-cancel culture fund for bxbeastboy. You know what I mean? And it also helps me get resources for certain video essays and things of that nature. Check that out if you're able to. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and join my Discord if you are able to, man. The link should be somewhere within my description or somewhere on my channel. I would really love to see you there, man. That's where you get a chance to talk to me and the rest of my supporters, man. I appreciate you guys. Bang Gang out.